do it anyway. We were signed up for it, so we just did it. I recommend it. I was surprised. It's run by guys who used to be addicts, and they're weirdly functioning and like.
Nice, interesting.
Okay. I'll leave this right in here.
They're high functioning people, and they're like, look, this is a disease.
Sure.
I never believed it was.
Oh, absolutely.
My laptop is
Yeah.
like or else it's gonna
It's
die.
hard to breathe.
Industry, it is hard. I think.
Do you have the?
I think the media has sold everybody on the second thing. It's just like something you can, a bad habit, you know.
Yeah, and the fact is it's a bad habit that turned into an actual disease.
Exactly.
And it's a self-induced actual disease.
Absolutely.
And that's what's so hard to talk to people about. It's like, no, they gave themselves a disease.
Yep.
And now they're super sick.
Free time now.
Addiction.
Drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
They're addicts.
No, I think you can, if you sit on that side of the table, then, yeah, so how about you, I'll sit here.
You can see that.
I can sit out here, it's okay. Can you see me right now?
No.
I can see Cassie where she is right now.
Oh,
And
can you see
It
Stormy?
cuts off the.
yes.
Oh, well then who
You
can't you see?
Stormy. So,
Who can't?
Can you see everybody?
can I see what?
Can you see everybody?
I'll trade you.
You're getting a little bit cut out, but I'm
Damn it.
thinking you're asking if I can see everyone.
No,
I can see everyone, so you guys are good.
Sweet. Oh, and you're
There
There you go.
the rain is.
I don't think that's how that song goes.
I can see all the.
Revamp it, dude. Revamp it, brother.
That makes me so happy.
Dude,
Wait, it? Like this swamp?
Maybe. Yeah, the swamp thing. They were in like
The clowns.
sewers. Sewer swamp.
Man.
I saw, did y'all see on Facebook
That's
there was like
cool.
a Lego version that they made? Someone made a
of it?
Lego version, just like the opening scene.
That's hilarious.
It's awesome, you should watch it.
Oh,
I've
man.
never seen the actual movie, but I really like the Lego scene.
We need to go see the Lego Ninja.
Okay. I'm
I
like,
used,
Lego
to, I used to
Ninja
build
movie?
those little ninjas.
Me and
Or,
Tina-
that was my favorite set.
There's Lego Batman and then there's the other
The
Lego
original
one.
Icon?
It's so good.
Lego
Lego
Batman.
movies are so great.
Good.
Alright, we're ready.
We are ready.
are we
So,
on like OBS
steady.
or whatever?
Do you want to give us a recap?
We are recording. We are live on YouTube.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
We're not live on YouTube.
Alright.
Yeah,
We're not live.
We are live on YouTube.
Okay, so
No,
recap.
we're not.
It's been a little while.
We're not streaming.
Yeah.
The hurricane.
Your computer is recording and streaming and. Wow. Okay.
Okay, yeah, Adam, we're
Sorry.
listening.
I was being bad.
Okay, good. So in this case, you guys are going to have to work with me to re-jog my memory as well as your own. All 5 of you are now back in the city. There was a confrontation, I believe, in a bar with Timet.
Timet!
And
He
he
killed the
was
giant, right?
to fight
Oh,
in
no.
a bar brawl.
He's dead.
After being directed to. And I believe, let's see, Timet, did you win that fight?
Yeah. Against the
Yeah,
giant?
I think you won that fight.
And then he took a dagger. He took a dagger to the chest.
Yeah.
And then I took a dagger to the
That's
chest.
right, that's right.
And then I played some
So,
games with death.
Where'd that dagger come
I
from?
forgot about that.
Straight through the
Sorry,
dagger.
do you remember what Timet was told to, the phrase that was going to predate danger, that was going to predict it?
The fish.
Fish, right, okay. Just double checking, because maybe, yeah, I remember too. So I'm glad you do. Fish, okay.
Fish.
So you were struck down, and I believe you had a brief conversation with an entity on the other side.
Yep. I did.
Got to speak with Death for a little while.
Arm wrestling.
So Timet, was that the first time you went down to 0, or was that the second?
The second time.
The second time, okay. So
The first time I rolled a 20 immediately.
the first time what?
And the first time I ever went down to 0, I rolled a 20 immediately on the pirate ship.
Right, and you went right back up to 1.
Exactly.
Okay. I remember now. So, in that brief instant where you were back to 0 and then immediately popped back up, you got a glimpse of this same figure that you had a conversation with. It seems like every time you've gone all the way down to 0, this thing, and it looks just like you remember from that cult, that big floating black death-looking figure from when you guys nixed that cult that was forming in the city way back when.
Burnt that shit to the ground.
So this is, I guess, you could say this was your third encounter with this thing. So we're gonna pause there. It's just that's a recap for someone gave you a potion lying there like dagger in your chest, and someone gives you a potion, you sit back up because you're in a bar full of people and they all saw this attack out of nowhere.
Right.
So they were able to resuscitate you.
Good.
Let's see. Jack, you had a conversation with an individual, an agent of some sort, was that right?
That's right. He had the little tattoo, so he couldn't lie, and then he told me that embarrassing story where he sat on something and then now he has a cushion embroidered by his mom. I remember the important things.
That individual was some sort of agent in relationship with Shen. Let's see, so you're in the rich part of town. Now, Belo, Eviana, and Seirlaia, you three, I believe, were in an altercation in a kind of animal-filled warehouse. Was that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you remind me if any of you are currently stone statues?
That would be me. I am
Okay.
currently petrified, and they're just gonna have to carry me around the rest of my life as a statue.
Right. Yes. So.
How much money do you think we can get for having
So Belo, you saw a lot of these city watch in their bright yellow liveries running around in this part of the town, and you knew immediately in your gut that something had happened, and you had a relationship with these guards you've been building over a couple of weeks while the rest of your party was just scattered to the wind, who knows where. So you knew that something was up, and it probably was the fault of somebody in your party.
Because who else would it be?
Yeah. So you ran them down. You circumvented the officers and down to the alley on the side of this warehouse. Let's see. So someone killed a creature, right? Who was turning people to stone.
Did you finish it?
Oh, yeah. That was me.
All right. The druid wound up destroying this
chicken.
strange chicken-like creature
Oh my
that was
gosh,
turning
my
all of
favorite
the
monster.
other animals in the cages to stone, and wound up turning Seirlaia into stone. Almost got turned into stone herself.
Yep. That was awful.
And I believe that Belo and Eviana were managed to drag the statue of Seirlaia out of the warehouse into the alleyway, where they came upon a disgruntled kind of like homeless guy with a boot on his hat, and he like freaked out and like threw his coins and then ran away.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you mugged the guy.
I didn't mug him. I met him earlier.
Right.
And he
Seirlaia,
gave me-
you ran
he
into
gave
him
me a
earlier and
gift.
had a conversation with him.
That's right. And we all had feathers given to us.
That's right. So, well, let's see. The crow has called each of you to a mysterious rendezvous using his trademark black raven feathers.
Yes.
Left with no note or explanation of why they were there or where to meet.
The boss.
And Stormy thought it was a river.
Say that again.
Stormy thought the signature was a river because his intelligence isn't high enough to read. So the cursive
Right.
confused him a little.
So the description, the message that was actually sent to Timet was so was in a cursive elven font that looked to him like a map. So
It's a good map.
he went looking for a river, and he found one in the fancy part of town because he thought that that's where he needed to go, which put him close in proximity to where Jack is currently.
Yeah. So we're kind of near each other, right?
Yeah. So right now we're kind of a 3 and 2 kind of breakdown of the parties. So
That's a good breakdown.
That's where you guys are currently. Let's see. Where do I want to start this? Kind of 2 groups. So I'm going to go with Timet. You sit up, and you still have this kind of ache in your chest, like just this really hard feeling bruise that just, it's like a phantom pain. You know that you just had a dagger in your chest, and it just came out of nowhere. There was no prediction. There was no anticipating it. And it was only I believe your critical success of dexterity that managed you to jump in the way of this dagger that was aimed for another individual.
All right.
So you are now presented in this scene where you are surrounded by all of these semi-wealthy, tavern patrons, and they're all kind of looking down at you, shocked. And the individual who seems to be this target for this assassination looks down at you and says, "You saved my life. Oh my goodness! Are you okay?"
Timet's always okay. Just a flesh wound.
That's hard to believe. I mean, yeah, your flesh was just
a heart wound.
I sworn it was sticking through the other side of you.
Small heart wound.
Well, I have a very small heart, so I'm sure it was a small heart wound.
Now, Timet, as you have this conversation, you can feel in your hand something that you didn't realize you were holding. And there's this black obsidian glass stiletto that is still a little bit slick with your own blood, the blood from your heart that it was driven into you.
Whoa.
And as you realize you are holding this dagger, you unconsciously grip it tighter and start, you without even realizing it, pushing it into your forearm. The man that you were just talking to, his face pales as he notices what you're doing, this kind of self-inflicted harm as you're just talking to him like nothing wrong is happening. Once you realize that, what do you do?
Can I roll a perception to see if I realize it?
Well, he just told you.
Oh, I realize it?
Sure. Well, yeah. You realized it. You felt this, like you can feel the blood starting to drip.
I push it deeper to see what happens.
All right. You push it a little bit deeper, and the blood actually kind of slowly stops, and you feel like a pulse of warmth, and it looks like the mark, the self-inflicted mark, looks like it's a weird glittery substance, like this thing that would look like an open wound, actually kind of looks like what it would look like if you took a really sharp dagger into like a semi-soft stone.
Ooh.
Sweet.
Interesting. Does it say anything?
So you look at the dagger and you kind of like remove it from your forearm, and it's like yay long, and then has a cross hilt, and the entire thing is made out of an obsidian glass, and it has like just a strap, a thong of leather wrapped around its handle, and there aren't any words on it. There aren't any substances. The scar or the scratch, this weird kind of indentation that you've made on your skin, has a kind of a serpentine pattern, but right now it's just this kind of maybe 2-inch long mark on your forearm.
Okay. Can I look around to see who stabbed me?
Okay. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and roll perception.
I rolled a 20.
You rolled a 20. Okay, so at the 20, you see at the corner of your periphery a flicker of like empty space that that like the rustling of fabric in the middle of space as the door to the end, which was stood wide open, is this disruption to your sight is flickers as it exits apparently the inn.
I'll chase after it.
All right, so shoving these other random patrons aside who've kind of gathered around to see this dead man on the floor of the tavern, you spring to life, jab yourself in the arm, look around, have a brief conversation, just run out of the tavern. You bowl over some patrons, some of them drunk, can't get out of your way, they just fall.
Everybody move!
You sprint out into the darkness, and you don't see anything as you look around, and you kind of just like shift, kind of like that, I guess, maybe a defensive end or a lineman as they're like looking for the person who's coming. You're like, there's no direction. There's like just there's 3 different alleys that you can take, left, right, and straight, and you don't see any signs of motion.
And can I smell the air and see where they went?
You can make a perception that is nose-based.
Nose-based.
All right, 18.
What?
And I am a totem spirit wolf.
Okay. Accessing this inner wolf with your wolf hat and your wolfian. No. What is that? Lupian, I guess. Your Lupian characteristics. You bring your nose to the air and you start trying to out this perpetrator. As you sniff around, you don't smell something that smells like an assassin, but you do smell the smell of cooking fish.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Well,
Are you gonna be distracted?
I remember that someone said something about fish a while back.
That's gonna die.
So let's follow the nose, because the nose knows,
Okay. So, as you decide to follow this guidance that you had received prior about the warnings of danger being that they'd be pre-warned to you by this fish, you run towards the smell of fish, and as you get closer and closer, you get to a darker and darker alley. It gets these twists and turns within this richer part of the city. This is like a narrow gap between buildings, and as you come underneath an awning that is open, the shutters are open, casting light into this narrow hallway or this narrow alleyway. You hear just this kind of inane banter conversation between 2 individuals in this room, and he's like, "Dear, your fish is delicious," and immediately I need you to make a perception roll.
Perception. 14.
Okay, 14. That's not going to do it. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Alrighty. I critted.
You
Which
crit.
one?
Okay.
On the dexterity.
Jumping in front of someone to save in the middle of an attack. There is a flash of dagger from a hand that was not there, that wasn't there just a second ago. As it comes down, the dagger is arching towards you, and you just sidestep it like within millimeters. It cleaves down into, and you can tell this dagger it's like a chunkier, more like a hunting knife version of the obsidian glass stiletto. It reflects the moonlight very poorly, but you can tell the material is similar to this dagger that you still are holding in your hand.
Can I make a reaction and grab the hand and pull it?
So as you go to reach a hand, I'm going to say make a. Let's see. Do you want to use your strength or your dexterity to try to like grab this thing?
Do I see it?
Yes.
I see it coming. So that
like your reaction time, you didn't spot it until it was already coming. You were able to sidestep it with like your danger sense.
Okay.
But I guess actually you didn't see it with your perception roll, but you did manage to sidestep it because you just sensed its presence.
Okay. We'll just use our strength, I guess.
Okay, so you're going to use your strength to just like bear grab this arm that wasn't there.
And we're going to get a 10 on that one.
A 10. Okay, so as you go to grab, there's just nothing there. Like there's this, like you felt the air being disturbed, and you saw this blade for a split second come right near you. You moved the minimum amount of distance you needed to sidestep. Yes. Okay. Sure.
Time out.
So, that's time out. I'll be right back in 2 minutes.
All right.
Yeah. Perfect. I
What the
dropped
heck
it.
is this thing?
I don't know.
Can't
I don't-
grab it.
Sort of
I don't know if this is the best idea for me to chase me because I just died and I'm not sure if I have any rages left or any health potions
Oh
or
yeah,
anything at
I don't
all.
know where your
Something you
health
can't
points are right
grab is usually probably not a good idea for
now. Some
Timet
sort
to
of
go
like
after.
rogue assassin.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen that
It's too
painting right
ethereal.
there?
Yeah, I know, it's
Did
cool,
you do
isn't
that?
it?
Oh.
No.
That's cool.
It's not just like this. We know he likes
So,
his credit cards.
Yeah, that's all that is.
I mean,
I
there's
like it.
nothing really like other than Totem Spirit Wolf that.
Dude, you should try to stab it with that dagger.
His credit cards in a
You need to try to
baby.
stab it with that fucking dagger.
The dagger that I have.
Yes. Because that's a magic dagger, man.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That fucking dagger. Yeah.
It's dragon glass, so you can probably kill some walkers.
So, yeah. Reverse your grip on that dagger.
Oh yeah.
Or did that turn me into a
Okay.
walker?
Oh, maybe.
So, you are in an alleyway. You heard again this reference to fish. You had followed the smell of fish into danger. And this dagger came out of nowhere. You dodge, and you try to make a grab for it, but there's nothing to see, nothing to grab. So it's just a whiff. You hear sounds at the end of the alleyway, and you also feel like little dust crumbling, like almost like something had just like above you had been disturbed.
Alright, I'm gonna sneak towards the sounds at the end of the alleyway.
Okay. As you backtrack down the alleyway, kind of boxing in, where you just came from, you turn around to kind of figure out what the sound is coming from, and you hear muffled tones and a voice that sounds kind of like Jack's voice at the end of the alleyway. Jack.
He's on a phone call.
Well, I'm gonna sneak up on him and try and surprise him. Does he have any good items that I can try and take away from him?
How's your
As
chance,
you go
man?
to sneak up on Jack, you see, let's see, I'm going to need Jack to make a roll here in a second.
Alright, I'll make it for him.
Go, yeah.
Oh,
He critical failed. What's he really good for?
He's like, thanks guys. He's not even here. He's like, yeah, you could have failed for me. So, what happens to Jack is that
Oh
he,
no.
Jack's dead.
just to like catch with his, fancy I'm blind but I can see everything vision, a strange bag falls over his head
Oh.
and immediately like just cinches shut, and he's like grabbing at it and he's being lifted like upwards, and it looks like there's a small alcove and someone has managed to drop this rope with some leather kind of bag that clings around and to start pulling up,
Oh no.
and you see this.
I see it,
Yes.
and this is like a tight alleyway, right? How high up is the ledge above us?
Can his bird attack this thing?
Oh yeah.
So
That's
the
what
alley,
we want.
height-wise, so we're talking about the floor, so maybe 12 feet.
12 feet? Could I like free run up one of the walls and jump over to the other one and try and like latch onto it?
Like a Mario.
You can try, yeah.
And does Jack get a chance to have his
dexterity
bird?
roll?
Dexterity?
Oh
No.
Okay.
Does Jack get a
Alright,
chance
we
to
got a 19.
parrot?
19.
Yeah.
With the 19, you manage to like run, and as you like plant one leg solidly and push off the wall, you go and like get some. So I mean, are you describe this motion? Are you hitting the wall to go up, or are you hitting the wall to like bounce to the other wall?
Bounce to the other wall. So jump off one back and
you
reach back.
push off, you bounce, you manage to get a good kind of like position as you land to hit that wall. I'm gonna have you make another dexterity roll to get
Oh wow.
Alright, 15.
15. With the 15, you manage to throw it. It's kind of a little awkward, and you can get an arm kind of close-ish to the alcove. So are you grabbing for a handhold? Are you trying to grab the perpetrator? What are you?
I'm just trying to get up there.
Okay, so you're gonna go for like a solid grab.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to make a strength check at this point.
All right, we made a 13 on our strength check.
Okay, with a 13, you just managed to like grab that kind of bottom rail, and now you're kind of Michael Jordan it, with the hoop, you're hanging from it.
All right. I have one unmovable rod in my bag.
Okay, you have an immovable rod.
I have only one unmovable rod.
That's right.
Can I click it and give myself a second handhold and try and work my way up?
Yeah. So where do you store your immovable rod? Is that in your
It's
backpack?
like
Is it like hanging?
I'm sure it's in my backpack. I have not touched this thing in a long time.
Well, I mean, like, it's like yay long, right? So, like, theoretically, you could, like, have it, like, a fishing rod kind of out so you could, like...
And Tyler, you critical failed,
Right?
and you're getting choked out.
Right.
You have a bag.
Right. It's like
No, wait, what?
like this sort of deal
Yeah.
right here.
Andy rolled the dice for you, and I
As the strength, as
yeah.
your arm starts to
God.
fully extend and lock, you take out the immovable rod that you have. I imagine Jack...
Well, why does he have an immovable rod?
And you have that one. You use that one and click it, and that gives you like two handholds. So now you can like kind of use that foot purchase to like push off or do something with the wall. You have two handholds, one up high, extended, one here, and then your legs are just kind of hanging now.
Okay, let's try and with the lower one that I've got, let's just do a mantle move. So that means like put your foot where your hand was, and we're just going to step up, and so that way we get up. So I'm actually leaving the movable rod behind.
Okay, so
That's probably a terrible idea, but
that gets you to the point where if you crouch and you kind of like jump, you can kind of hopefully get over the railing. So it's a pretty easy dexterity roll. Go ahead, roll that.
all right, we're gonna roll 11.
11. So with 11, you kind of like you like scrape your shin a little bit as you get over it, but you like manage to ascend, and as you like come up with your full mass, just like boom, like right on that alcove, the guy who's got the rope attached to the bag is kind of just like and then he drops it, and then Jack, you hear this thump. Like it wasn't like he wasn't being suspended by like human feet, but like it was just enough that like he was actually being held upwards by the rope.
I was gone for like 10 minutes and I'm in a bag?
All right.
So Jack, I described this scene for Timet where he was in an alley and he's heard something that sounded like you talking to someone, and then all of a sudden he like snuck. He kind of creeped a little bit over to like look to see who was at the entry to the alleyway, and he saw you. And then I asked for Jack to roll a perception, and they said they rolled a perception for you, and you critically failed. So what happened was this weird like fabric that came down from above, like that like entered your perception, but the moment you realized there was something weird going on, it like all that sound, that weird kind of reflection that you get from the wolves, that echo hollow.
No, it's a soundproof bag?
As a fabric that then wraps around your head and then tightens and cinches, and then you're lifted. As you're grabbing it, you're lifted like a foot off the ground. So it's almost like this tool that's used by thieves and assassins, that it's a bag with drugs that knock you out on the inside, that then as the bag is lowered over your head can be cinched tight, and then it's slowly working on trying to knock you out as they try to kind of...
Am I knocked out?
Not yet. So Timet was there, and once he saw that happen, he like parkoured Assassin's Creed off the wall to like get up to where this guy is messing with you. And as when Timet lands on the alcove where this guy is like holding the rope, he's like, "Ugh," and then
I fell.
fall, and now you have this bag that's tight, but now you're not being suspended by your neck on it.
And he took my immovable rod?
No, he had one.
Oh, you have one. Oh, that's right. Okay. Okay.
Now I have 0. Unless
You're
I
like,
get it, so.
you're in the bag, and you're like, I sure hope Timet didn't take one of my movable rocks.
Sure. Okay. But I don't even know Timet's there, right? Do I?
No. There's some drugs that kind of making you a little fuzzy.
What's my bird doing?
That's what I was.
Your bird? That is a good question. Let's see, you don't have to maintain concentration with your bird. So your bird is kind of tripping out that this connection that you have, this mental connection, you're like getting high on drugs. And the bird is kind of like moving around.
That's an interesting take on what would happen. Okay, cool.
Kind of sitting on the alcove, like going, whoa, this is deep.
Alright, nice. Alright, so I'm on the ground.
Am I still looking at this guy? Like, is he right in
Yeah,
front
you
of me?
just landed on the alcove, so.
I'm gonna tackle him.
Okay. So what are you gonna do? You're like, how are you going to attack him?
I'm gonna tackle him.
Okay.
And I'm gonna like,
All right.
we're 12
So
feet in the
you're
air. I
small
might try and
enough
like
to
dive, take him off the. No, we'll just tackle him. He's on the
Okay,
ledge,
so
right?
You want to tackle him,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So, you are you're already kind of landed low and crouched because you've just landed on this alcove, and you look at him, and then you just go like this and like bear hug him as you bring him up over the alcove, and land right next to Jack.
Wait, you just dropped 12 feet from the... Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But I landed on him.
You were just resurrected.
But I'm pretty sure.
I've got a funny
Go
feeling
ahead
like you might
and
take
take
some damage.
3 damage from that.
What are you at right
And
now?
let's see.
What was the end when you woke up?
That potion that healed you, I'm not sure how, you're not up to full, you're back something.
I'm not sure. I don't. Let me see if I can find a number somewhere.
You were recently dead.
Yeah.
I was. Yeah, I don't really have a number anywhere from where I was at.
Okay. So I want you to, let's pretend this health potion was, I don't know, a greater healing one. So let's roll 2d8
Okay.
plus 2.
2d8 plus 2. Okay. This one the
Roll
D8?
more than 3.
No, that's a 10.
Please. Yeah.
That's not a D8.
Oh, that's a
The
D8.
D8 is
This
little
is the
pyramid.
D8. Okay.
Yeah.
You should be
5,
fine. I mean, even 2 1s
6.
plus 2 would be 4.
5 plus 6 plus 2, 13.
Okay, so you are now to 10 health points.
All right.
Oh, dang. Timid doesn't like being low in health.
All right. 10. We'll just stay 10. Let's write that down for starters.
Okay. And so Timet, every time there's what we would say mortal danger, or let's say you have less than 10 hits story-wise, you're going to pull out that little weird dagger, that brought you the 0 in your heart, and you're going to make it marks. So you're sitting right on, but just if I don't remember to tell you that, that's something you unconsciously start doing every time.
Oh, okay. I like this.
Did you start cutting yourself?
I just start
Weird.
cutting myself and like drawing silver stuff on me.
Silver stuff.
So, I guess you missed that. The dagger that stabbed him, he was talking to someone and he just like stabbed it into
Yeah, I
his
saw
arm.
that, but I didn't know
Okay,
what
and then he
happened.
like when he pulls it out, it's like silvery, like
Oh, that's cool.
It got fermented.
It's silvery? Is it hurt? Can you sell it?
I don't know.
Can you
So the way I described
scar
it
tissue?
was like if you had some sort of like soft stone, some sort of soft gray stone, instead of with this dagger, every time he makes an indentation or scratching, it's almost like the dagger is cutting into stone. And so when he moves the dagger away, it's like there's a mark on his skin, his human flesh skin, that is the length of the cut that almost looks like it's not flesh, it's stone. So rather than a scar or a cut.
That's cool. There's no blood?
Yeah, it's like it going in, stabbing, it's like, it's bleeding a little bit, and then like as he like removes it, it's just like this line that looks like it's stone rather than flesh.
That's cool.
That's
Do it to your whole body. You'll be stone man.
Be stone man. Then you'll really be afraid of water.
So we're going to pause with you guys in the alley and transition back over to the other two who are dealing with a different stone problem.
Yeah.
Cassie and Eviana and Belo. You guys are in an alleyway. You look down at the scattered coins, and each of you picks one of them up and just puts it in their pocket, and then you both look at each other, and then you will look at this, and you look at the stone Seirlaia, and then you kind of look at each other again. And Belo, you immediately recall that there's maybe a couple of things that you could try. There was a time with the crow where like you guys there's a really awkward situation and you don't want to talk about it, so we're not going to talk about it here in front of the group who's not here, who didn't experience it. But anytime anyone asks what happened, you say, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Something between. Okay.
Yeah. So there's this thing that happened with the crow, and you both wound up having to go deal with this this problem that you both wound up having and going to the priest who does these major healings, right? The ones who disenchanted your axe to make it not cursed from the very beginning, the first time you got back to the city. So you know that maybe he would be a good guy to talk to about this stone issue. And the second option that you know of is that there's an artist in town, and apparently he raises these kinds of creatures who make stone statues, and maybe he knows what to do when one of them is turned to stone.
Let's go there. Let's go to the ladder. Let's go to the second. You want to go to the second?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's switch it up. Let's see what this dude. I want to see him reanimate this thing.
Am I like kind of aware of what's going on around me? I just can't do anything, or I was just completely like gone.
No.
So as far as I can tell from the monster manual, it's like you are alive, but you don't, like, you have stone eyes, you have like nothing.
Yeah.
Like there is
So
no
it's Han Solo sort of
Okay.
situation.
Alright.
Okay.
Cool. I mean, I know I can't do anything, but I don't know if inwardly I'm like, don't take me to an artist.
You know what? As your DM, I'm gonna say yes. This is like you are hearing this, like the sound waves are echoing off of your stone exterior, and you're just like screaming internally, like no.
That means we made the right call, I think.
So, Belo, where are you going to tell Eviana to go?
Let's go to the art dealer, the art dude.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, really? Do you hear like a soft ringing sound?
Yeah, she seems happy. She seems happy that we made this choice.
Yeah.
I'm using my stone cunning. I sense her happiness.
How are you going to bring Seirlaia with you?
I got her feet.
Yeah, I think we're just like, we're just carrying her through the streets, I think, right?
Okay. So, Eviana, you have her feet, or Seirlaia, did we say hooves at this case?
Yes, I do have those.
Are you self-conscious about your
you're grabbing her hoof to boot.
Hooves.
I got her horns.
And you're just grabbing her horns.
Yeah.
And you guys are just kind of like walking it down the alley. It's only a couple blocks, so you figured you thought, yeah, the artist is closer.
Yeah.
Sure.
So as you make your way to the artist's estate, which is actually this small little like townhouse, but he calls it his estate.
I like this.
You go up to this like narrow doorway that leads up to some stairs, and you knock on it, and you don't hear anything. And you knock a little bit louder, and then there's nothing. What do you do?
I listen to the stones of the apartment, and I try to see if he's home.
Okay. Go ahead and roll perception.
Is that something
I
stone cutting
think
gives you?
stone cutting says I do an intelligence check. I don't know. Do I roll d20?
Would you prefer to roll intelligence over
What else
over
would?
perception? Is your intelligence that good?
It's pretty high. Where's my perception? A 4 plus 4. No, I'm gonna roll perception. I'm gonna roll perception. Okay. Oh shit. I got a 12.
12. Okay. So you listen, and you're listening for the stones because you know the
Vibration.
stones really well. And you faintly think you hear your footsteps somewhere in the apartment above. So there's probably someone home.
Oh, okay. Let's go in. And can we kind of like...
You like a battering ram?
Yeah. We're gonna battering.
Like, don't break me, guys. I'm not indestructible.
I love how bad you guys are at being around other humans. Perfect. And people. It's so good.
You're just your own animals, though, okay?
I just like roll my eyes. Oh my gosh, I don't understand
Like, break my
etiquette.
Yeah.
So we're gonna batter.
So roll an attack on the door with advantage because you have Seirlaia as a battering ram.
How do you roll an attack? This one?
You rolled a d20.
Ooh, nice.
What do I add it to? I got a 4 base. What do I add? Do I add anything?
Oh, roll again. Roll
Oh, yes,
So you
okay.
get to roll that advantage.
14.
Okay. With the 14, there is a shuddering of the door as it like you can hear like somewhere the wood is cracking against this force. It hasn't quite broken down the door, but you hear a little more shuffling upstairs. Stumbling.
Alright.
The door is still barring your entrance.
Oh, man.
We wait for a couple seconds to see if he answers the door again.
Yeah.
If he doesn't,
Okay.
we're gonna rinse and repeat, I think.
Yeah. Can I roll perception to see?
Go ahead and roll attack. You wait a few moments. Nothing yet.
18. 18?
18. So with an 18, the door gives way as it knocks off its hinges and falls into the house in front of you.
Nice.
Like as her stone form moves through the doorway, it kind of like falls onto the fallen door. So at this point, you hear like a shrill, "Who is it? Go away!"
Oh god, I love Adam's voices. My favorite.
What do you want to do?
I want to say, hi, sorry, knocked a little bit too hard. It seems like you got some weak hinges over there, but yeah. So we heard you're an artist, and here at this beautiful estate, and we'd love some of your creative input on a piece that we've picked up, literally.
As you say all of this to this kind of like darkened hallway, that with a door leaning into it and your friend Stone leaning against the door, the voice kind of carries down from upstairs. He's like, "What? Go away!"
Hey Adam, can you remind me what my little sand bag does? I remember I had a bag of sand and it filled up.
And the tracks are...
Does it just cover tracks? It covers tracks, okay.
So but you can cover tracks. You can obscure what's happened in the area.
I'm gonna write this down.
And this stuff that hides the footprints and marks and stuff. As these steps come down the stairs, you guys quickly take the Seirlaia statue and prop it up and kind of like lean it on the entryway, and the door's just kind of like off its hinges, kind of leaning into actually on the first couple steps of the stairwell as this man comes down. He's grizzled. It looks like consciousness is unpleasant for him. He has this kind of squinched features as he comes down and he looks around like, "Who are you? What happened to my door?"
We have a companion here that's in stone form. We need some help.
Yeah.
We heard you were the guy.
He like just kind of pushes you aside, and he looks at you. He's like, "Did you knock really hard on my door?"
It's a weak door. You gotta get that replaced.
Yeah.
You know.
Quality
He
check.
looks at it. He's like, "Well, it's not made out of stone, so I mean, and he looks at Seirlaia, the sculpture, and he's like, "Oh, this is marvelous work. I mean, the sculpting.
Yeah.
It's just like you even have the facial expression, this kind of like anger and frustration just on the face. You've captured everything."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that must.
Well, it was the chicken monster that did that.
The chicken monster?
Yeah.
Long story.
Yeah, we got attacked.
So you guys aren't artists.
No, unfortunately.
You're not imitating my style. You're
No.
No.
We're trying to reanimate our friend here.
Yeah.
That's the extent of it.
Or I mean, if you could paint her in a cool way.
wait. So you don't want this wonderful sculpture? Like I'll take it from you.
How much
they're
how
gonna
much
tell me.
be right if we wanted to, how much could we fetch for this?
Oh well, I can sell my work. My work can go for 200 to 3,000 gold coins easily.
That's a lot of
Well, what about this one? What about this one though? This one's pretty good.
I'm gonna come back to life and kill you.
These guys are new.
I think I feel the stone statue heating up.
What was that?
I think it might be heating up just a little bit, the stone statue, through anger.
I think we should try to bargain with him. I think you can get 4,000 gold coins.
So this at this point the artist comes and walks around and he's like, I mean, you didn't really pose the model, to express more than this just kind of shocked anger and frustration.
Yeah.
I don't really see a kind of a dynamism, a flow to the form. I mean, this was voluntary conversion, right? You didn't like convert this individual against their will, right?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Well, I mean, like we said, it's chicken. Long story. We just need her brought back to life, basically. I mean, if there's anything like you need us to do to help you out with that, maybe we can fetch you some like rat's tails or like ears of a mermaid or however this works.
Yeah, he seems to get really nervous when you start like relaying these details. Like he realizes that this is not a work of art as much as like a trapped individual.
Yeah, it's more of a happy accident, kind of like a Bob Ross kind of form.
May not appreciate their friends trying to sell her as artwork.
We're just curious.
And he goes, "Oh, you have to take care of this stuff. I mean, you have the blood, right?"
The blood of the animal?
Of the animal.
The blood of the
Yes.
chicken.
We have the blood with the chicken blood.
Yeah, we took chicken blood actually, right?
We have chicken blood.
Did you?
I think
Yeah,
so.
we milked it.
We milked it. We milk whatever we
We consistently milk whatever we kill.
I'm sorry. Did you just say that you milked the chicken monster of its blood?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Fortunately,
It's not our proudest moment, but.
Well, it's hers.
Did you actually though? If you flip through your inventory, do you have blood like from this monster?
We definitely got a
I feel
vial.
like
We got something.
typically you're the first to jump at tearing creatures up and keeping their parts. So I wouldn't put it past you.
We definitely snagged a vial.
No,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah,
Because
I
you were
remember.
talking about, like, what can we use this stuff for?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because we wanted to turn people into stone, so we snagged some of this chicken
Okay.
blood.
Well, he
I
goes,
don't fully
so
remember this, but I believe you.
So Eviana, you reach into your bag and you have to like root around the other creatures that you just have random pieces of,
Right.
vials of like that spider
Seagull
venom,
feathers, spider
long
venom.
feathers from seagulls,
You name it.
pelts from purple wolves. You keep digging and digging and digging, and you finally find this small little vial, and you're like, oh yeah, I did get blood samples from this creature.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, and then you say that, and he looks at all these other pieces, all these other random like eyeball from a creature and the tooth of another creature. And he's looking at you. He's kind of like trying to walk backwards into his house, and he's trying to put his door back in place, but it won't go. And you're like explaining that you're like, this can turn people to stone, right? And he's like, no, it does the exact opposite. If that's the creature that turned her to stone, you just put that on her and then she's back.
Oh.
I don't want to be here when that happens. I'm leaving.
Oh, quick question though. So if somebody's stone and you give to them and they turn not into stone, what happens if you put it on someone who's not a stone?
They get wet.
They get like gelatinous. Okay.
No, they get
don't turn to
like
stone.
covered in blood.
Okay.
Wait, it's that simple? You just dump blood on the thing?
All right.
Yeah, we might need it for Timet actually.
So this would be, I guess, a
It's
point
the
of order
creature's
here with
blood.
the way the rules of
No, it's
D&D
just
works.
only used for
The creature, the basilisk that turns the person to stone, the blood from
Only the
that
blood.
one creature will turn the individual they turn to stone back to normal.
Awesome.
Either that or a priest can heal them.
All right.
Okay.
Let's pop it open and we'll do a little drizzle.
Drizzle.
Oh no.
Okay, so you start pouring this blood over our Eviana, and you can see this like slow transformation as her, like it's almost like there's like this kind of stone, like is incredibly thin, like eggshells, and it starts cracking and falling off. And as you pour the blood on, it seems like it wouldn't be enough to cover the individual Seirlaia. But as the eggshells crack off, you have. Yes.
Everyone wants to see that.
Let's see what. Here you go. So, for the YouTube, video, just.
Oh yeah.
She doesn't really.
So it's cracking off of her head, and she's coming back to life.
Yes, right, right.
Okay.
So there's stone, a little eggshell kind of breaking, and as let's see, Eviana's skin color. Sorry, no, I keep saying Eviana. Seirlaia. Cassie, your character's skin color is what?
It just has like a reddish tinge to it. It's not actually like red.
Very red.
But it's
very
like,
red.
It's like Hellboy.
No, it's not.
When you say reddish tinge, are we talking like pink?
Like a sun kiss.
No,
This
No,
color
no,
red
no.
right here.
no, whatever. I have a skin color. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll find something for you guys.
You have a skin color.
Okay, so you said reddish tinge. So this kind of, you've all seen this this tiefling before you partied, you've contained with her. You can tell that this is her natural skin color. At the top, though, you can still see the blood kind of dripping. So she now has the top of her head wet, slick. Her hair starts having some of this kind of like goopy, congealed blood. But the rest of her, it seems almost like a chain reaction. So it's not like you have to douse all of her. So as you empty this vial, it's like getting gunky here, but the eggshell cracks just get larger and larger and like peel off, and then they just fall to the ground. Eviana, would you like to collect any of those?
Yeah, you bet. Those with my other eggshell.
Okay.
Don't touch my
So
eggshell.
in your inventory,
Sweep
you should
them up.
write Seirlaia stone shell cracks.
Oh right, it's like a Kinder egg.
I have no what you're talking
What?
about. That's funny.
Seirlaia,
It's
welcome
really
back to
Hi.
D&D,
Yeah.
being a player who can do
Yeah.
things.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So,
So,
She
was
she
I
kind of
aware
owes
of
us like
everything that happened? Because if I was, I'm just gonna like storm out.
Okay. Yes, you were aware. You couldn't really see, but you had this muffled hearing. And
I
maybe,
know,
let's
I
see.
know they rammed my head into a door and they were trying to sell me.
As she leaves, I say you owe us 200,000 gold pieces.
You're the
200,000 gold.
Yeah, they were gonna buy her.
Your gruff,
You're
roaring
about to
voice
get
and
burnt.
yell at the
Hold on. Kristen Seller? She can make another character.
I know Jack would have been like all over that.
We could have bought a fleet.
So, Eviana, in your time as stone, you get the sense that some of that hearing maybe was accented by this strange other presence, you know, that you've been feeling over the last
my
couple
friend.
of days, weeks.
Yeah.
As you storm away, immediately, let's see, Eviana, Belo, and Seirlaia all take 1 point of damage.
Oh.
From what?
Why?
That's a good question. You guys want to roll perception?
Yes. 7. Oh, plus
I got 7. Why?
6.
Oh, I got 11 total.
Okay. All of you immediately feel this like just cringing pain, like almost like what happens let's see, when you guys were playing with the TENS unit that I had as you were helping me move out.
Yeah.
You know, and like some of you had that, it felt really unpleasant to you, is this kind of like tight electrical feeling, and then like it went away.
Yeah,
Like,
Stormy turned
that
me
was
all
the
the way up
momentary
my arm.
pain.
Okay.
Shoot.
We weren't perceptive.
Okay.
As you all like realize that you've experienced the same kind of pain together at the same time, you all kind of make eye contact, and then you hear a slam and something being propped up against a wooden door, leaning against a door frame, and you hear, "Go away!"
Oh, sorry, man. Sorry. We're leaving.
Yeah, we leave. We don't want to stir up the
And
hornet's
then
nest.
I give him a 1 star on Yelp.
Yeah!
You give a what?
1 star on Yelp.
This guy is weak.
So you pull out your magical phone and be like, terrible.
Alright, let's go, guys. Let's find.
Now we're, yeah, we should try to link up with them.
Yeah, let's link up with the gang now that the gang's all here.
Okay.
We're gonna gang it up.
Yeah, gang up.
Yeah, couple minutes, honey. Alright, so as you guys start moving through the city, to reconnoiter, Belo guiding both Eviana and Seirlaia in this case, because he's familiar enough with the crow to know that the meeting is obviously for midnight, because obviously. And the location is probably some dark, seedy alley that's pre-lit, you know, with dramatic lighting, and has probably some sort of smoke bomb or something in it so he can like sneak in dramatically. So you make your way there, you start leading your 2 party members there. As you move in that direction, let's say we'll cut back to Jack and Timet, who are both kind of on the ground in an alley somewhere.
All right. So we're
going to start with Timet because
You're on
Jack
top of
is
somebody,
not
right?
there again.
Tackle down to the ground.
So can I look at this guy that I'm sitting on top of? What does he look like?
So he looks like a cut purse. You've seen individuals like this before. They don't look like they have a lot of money on them. They don't. Their gear isn't that good. They're not adventurers, and he doesn't look like a hired assassin or like someone with magical powers. He just looks like a kind of burly, like, well, not burly. I would say gangly, long, unwealthy guy. Pickpocket guy who has some sort of fancy bag.
Kind of like a blush all over.
I say, "What's in the bag?" As I pin him down.
he looks underneath you because that's how you tackled him. He looks at you and he's like, just some guy passing through the alley. I just trying to make ends meet.
I'm gonna intimidate him just cause.
Okay, go ahead and roll intimidation.
All right, I critted on intimidation.
Wow.
You feel a warm sensation on your leg as he pees himself.
Good. I say, "Who?" I say, "Where's she?" No.
His eyes are just as wide as saucer. He's like, "Who?"
You know who? I got stabbed with a stiletto, right? I'm just gonna assume this guy knows the chick that stabbed me and just start yelling at him and say, "Where is this person?" Shake the stiletto in his face.
Okay, so as you wave this
Yeah, it's a
bloody
stiletto
dagger
knife.
in his face, weird ornate kind of obsidian glass stiletto. Jack, you hear this kind of mumbling sound, and your parrot vaguely like glances over, like he doesn't care really all that much, but he sees you kind of laid out right next to like Timet shaking this guy, yelling at him with a dagger in his face.
Can I see?
You see kind of like the bird's focus is not very good right now. It's almost like you share this kind of like high from this drug in your bag, and the bird's kind of like looking at you guys, but like not really focusing. So you kind of can tell that where your body is from the perspective of the bird, and the fact that Timet is outside of this bag just shaking this random other dude.
Yeah. Hey. What's up, James?
Okay, so I'm going to interrogate him and ask him, who does he work for?
Okay. As you shake him and yell at him, and he's thoroughly intimidated, he says, "Oh, I work for the Thieves Guild. I am a novice, and I don't work for anyone but myself, and kind of." And he just starts talking, and he relays that like he has a brother named Bruce, and he also works in the Thieves Guild, and it's like, you know, his first time robbing someone with this new bag, and he wasn't sure how it worked, but it looked like it's going really well, and he just keeps talking and talking.
Well, I tell him he works for me now, and now from whenever you rob, once you let my friend go, now whoever you rob, and only rich people, you come and you give me 25% of all of your earnings every day, payable to the crow.
So I'm going to have you roll another intimidation at this point with advantage.
All right, so 18, so plus my 2 is 20. And then another 18, so plus my 2 is 20.
So he starts nodding, and he's like, "Do you have a piece of paper for me to write this down?"
Good, but now it's 35%. Whatever
The paper will cost you.
And so I hand him a shoe, because I'm not really exactly sure what paper is. And
Whose shoe do you hand him? Do you hand him your shoe, Jack's shoe, his shoe?
his shoe.
Okay.
His own shoe.
You hand him his shoe, and so like he's holding it, and as you're like telling him like these like numbers, 25 to 35%, and he needs to rob from rich, and he needs to come to you, and it's like, okay, the Thieves Guild needs 15%. Once your 35% is taken from the 15,
Yes.
and
That's what you.
Yeah. All the monies. Give me the monies. Money me. Give me money now.
Okay. So he starts just emptying his pockets, and he just starts like handing you these random coins and things that he's handing to just.
His family's.
Alright.
He's just giving you his money now at this point. Here's the monies.
Alright, I take the monies. And I tell him to take the bag off my friend.
Okay. He goes and collects the bag. Jack is now like just takes a deep breath of normal air. His eyes are like dilated, pupillated to the point where like you don't see the colors of his eyes. They're just huge, big, black. Like he's been to like the optometrist and they put those eye drops that just open them completely up.
Is that me?
Super dilated. It's like Sun Molly.
Yeah.
They got the bag.
And he gathers it up and he just starts kind of like hobbling because like he has one shoe on and he's holding the shoe and the bag and he's just kind of walking down the hallway and he's kind of limping because he's been tackled by a barbarian and landed 12 feet and he took like 12 damage, so he's like looks really hurt.
Does he need the bag?
Alright.
Jack, you just got your first breath of real air. You see Timet like kind of like looking sternly at the guy kind of hobbling off, and he has this kind of weird bag thing, his shoe, and Timet's like kind of looking at these random coins that he just picked up, or he just was handed by this random dude.
Huh. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Maybe and so it's off my head? The bag's off my head?
So he's still high on drugs right now, right?
He's pretty high, like he's
Okay.
I say hey, Jack, you look like you need a drink. Let's take these coins and go to the nearest bar. And,
I guess that sounds like a good idea. Let's just say for a second, so my business call got changed to tonight, and it wasn't supposed to be tonight. It was supposed to be yesterday, and they changed it last night. So until I'm done, Jack's super high.
Okay.
High
he's
on alcohol.
on alcohol and these drugs mixed.
Oh, okay.
Mixed. He's just
crossfaded.
that's
no idea what he's doing there.
Gotcha.
I guess the nearest bar is the bar that I just walked out of, probably, right?
Yes.
So I like sling his arm over my shoulder and I like walk him back to the bar.
So a couple of times you have to redirect him as he's like walking on your shoulder. Somehow he like starts just walking sideways, and then like you bring him back, and he comes into the bar, and the bartender like looks at you, like obviously identifies you, and kind of the other patrons are like looking around, like where's the next like dead body going to be? As you bring in this guy who looks like been wasted, the bartender's like, "Are you sure you want a drink, son?"
Oh, Cassie. Cassie
Sorry.
just put a rubber band in Stormy's eye.
Ow.
Sorry.
Like
Okay.
right in the middle
So
of his
your
eye.
character now is blind.
For real, huh?
I wasn't aiming for his face.
Sorry, Cassie. Did we need to continue with your story?
I didn't remember
Intimidate, please. Okay.
That's
So,
good aim, Cassie. Jeez.
Right, so
Nobody messes with Cassie.
I insist that we have a drink.
all right. So,
And I throw the coins at him.
You go to the bar. You lean. It's really hard to get Jack all the way to the bar with all of the people around, and there's a lot of people like come to just talk about what happened at that bar. So they're all talking to each other in hushed tones, and every time you get near, they all get really quiet, just look at you, and you lean Jack against the wall, and as you walk to the bar, you take 1 damage the moment like you get to the bar itself. So you're sort of like, we need drinks, you pound the table, and all of a sudden it's like this jolt of energy. And you hear a wheeze, and like Jack falls like flat. And the moment that you take 1 point of damage, you get under 10. Yeah. You immediately like pull that dagger out. You still are holding on to it, and you make another cut next to that first one. The similar directionality to it. So it's like you're like, we need another drink, and all of a sudden there's this like clenching pain. You hear a collapsing Jack in the back, and then as you turn to look at what happened, you look back and the bartender and you are both looking at your arm as you're making this other mark along your forearm, this 2-inch short little mark. His face goes pale again, and he's just like, any drinks here, just puts them in front of you.
Oh, all right. Well, cheers, mate. And I flip him a coin, and
Okay.
I walk back over to Jack, and I say, "Hey, this'll do you good." And I thrust the mug into his hand, and yeah, I don't know what he does with it, but if he refuses, I'm gonna force him to drink.
Okay. So as you get closer to Jack, that pain, that initial pain, like a jolt of pain, as you moved your way backwards towards him, like eased. So as you got in closer proximity, you guys kind of went back to normal. He like looks a little bit more clear after that, pain kind of cut through some of the drugs that are still in his system. So at this point, you and Jack and Belo, Eviana, and Seirlaia are in your groups of 2 and 3, and I'm going to have to call it a night here.
Alrighty.
We're going to pick up the next time we can.
Alrighty.
Sounds
Good deal.
good.
Cool. We got
Okay.
locked up.
Good.
So
We saved everyone.
hopefully this brief session, this reminder and getting the tech to work was worth the wait.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it
Can't
was
wait
good.
For the crow to be back in action.
Oh my gosh.
Hopefully it won't be a month and a half again for our next
Yeah.
Was it a month and a half?
More regular than
I
a
think
month
so,
and a
yeah.
half. I think
It's
that's
been
fair.
a really long time.
Oh. Well, we gotta do this again soon.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
You're almost dead again, dude.
Oh, I'll be fine.
Is Timet gonna survive another like encounter with death? Another
Timet,
arm wrestling match?
Dude, he's level 3.
If Timet keeps running, headlong into danger, he might have more run-ins with death. I could see that happening, yes.
these dice are amazing.
You were rolling well tonight.
You keep critting, it's amazing, yeah.
Alright.
Dude, I think.
I like how you separated out all these dice. No,
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky right
oh wait,
now.
do they go in this bag?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
After you can finally play again.
At least we saved me, and we didn't sell me.
No.
I think we should have sold her.
I mean, we would have gotten a lot of money.
I don't know what's in it. I think it's just jealous of the dark, brooding backstory that Seirlaia has in the character.
Right?
He's hiding something.
Yep. Or something's hiding her. I don't know.
And no one else in your party has seen any of those
No.
weird,
No.
demonic stuff.
They don't. Nope. They don't even know what you're talking about.
No. And now Timet has some weird self-harm darkness going on in his character arc too.
A little bit of sadomasochism in here.
Is the Basilisk blood gonna be able to heal that stuff, or is that because it's from a different source, it's not gonna heal?
So the way that the structure works,